Hello, here I am. 2 videos in 1 week. This is a record, I think. I'm up at my favorite spot. I'm calling this Raven Rock because I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see. These ravens are just I love them so much. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear their wings. They're amazing. So here's the spot that I love. I might just do a video of ravens for a while. Ravens make so many different sounds. There's that one, that guttural caw that they do. That's kind of the signature that you think of with the raven, right? But they do so many other things with their voices. It's remarkable. I'm not even going to try to mimic, but all these gurgly sounds and stuff, it's amazing. And so raven, there's this concept of medicine, like animal medicine, right? Animals carrying certain energy or a certain how would you describe medicine? Certain qualities that they carry, and that when you have significant experiences with animals, it's meant as a message for you, So ravens are all about magic, and they certainly are. So, since I've been here at QuestHaven, there's just been so much raven energy. It's been amazing. So I get to tap into magic. So I'm out for a hike today. Still here at QuestHaven, feeling the loving, gentle nudge from behind of the universe or spirit nudging me to move on, because this place, QuestHaven, has become, I'm going to turn this around again because I just love this view so much. I'm going to just pretend we're sitting next to each other talking, looking out at this view together with the ravens coming by. So it's QuestHaven. It's been such a powerful and beautiful place for me. And I'm just recognizing, I'm hoping this wind isn't interfering with the audio too much here. But QuestHaven here out in Southern California has become such a place of refuge for me since I've been on the road. I've been on the road now for 7 months, I think. I left Massachusetts at the end of August. 7 months now. A little over 7 months. This time has gone by fast. And I've spent probably 2.5 of those months. Is that true? Here at QuestHaven, and then another 2 months staying with my friend Kim in Encinitas. So much of my time has been here in Southern California. It's just been a healing place, a place of refuge, recovery, restoration, healing. So that's what a lot of this journey has been about. You never know when you set out on a journey or go on a retreat or any of those things. Everyone's always talking about setting your intentions and having goals and all of that. And there is importance in that. Oh, we've got an acrobatic little raven here. Sometimes they tuck their wings and do this dive thing and flip upside down. It's amazing. But this concept of setting your intentions and having goals, right? And that energy follows attention or intention. So yes, that's absolutely true. And also there's a necessity for letting go too, and knowing that you don't really know what's going to unfold, right? So when I was coming out on this journey, leaving Massachusetts, and I was telling people that I felt like there was a place out here that was going to be like a magnet that I was going to land at. And what it's been instead is just a very powerful, there's been the travel. Ooh, that was a close visit, this raven. I'll turn this around now. I think, am I? Yeah, there we go. So it has been that, I've done some traveling. I went up to Washington and Oregon, up to Northern California, out to Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. I guess that's a lot. And checked out places. And, every single place I go to, I'm both like, I could see myself living there, and also I don't really feel particularly drawn there. So, it's like the answer isn't coming in the way that I thought it would or hoped it would, to be honest. I'm getting a whole Raven party happening here right now. So I've just kept on coming back here to Quest Haven, and this whole journey has intersected with my own healing process, right? Brenda. Hey, Brenda and Jenny. Hey, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. So this whole journey, I thought it was going to be predominantly about where am I going to relocate to, right, and live, which is still the looming question. But really what it's been about is recovery and healing. I let go of my entire life, and so it's been a process of processing all of that. So the concept of surrender that I said, that's what I've been really feeling into today, and it's an ongoing theme, I think, just when you're on the kind of conscious spiritual journey. It is a process of surrendering the ego, surrendering my will, of what I think should happen, or attachment to what should happen, or so it's this dance between getting in touch with, I've said this in other videos, like, what do I want, right? I don't know why that's such a hard question. I don't know if that's hard for you. Do you know easily what it is that you want? It's everything from the micro to like, what do I want to eat for dinner, to what do I want to do with my time right now? That's a thing for me. And I think that's where a lot of us fill it with things like TV or, stuff like that, myself included, Netflix, right? Turning this around again so you can see these ravens. Look at this one. Look how close. Hear that? Isn't that amazing? They're crazy. They're crazy. Anyway, what was I just saying? Sorry, I'm a little distracted today. The surrender piece, yeah. So, and then what do you want? And so it's everything from what do I want for dinner, to what do I want to do with my time, to what do I want to do with my life, to where do I want to live, to, what kind of clothes do I want to wear? Like, there's so many opportunities for us to ask ourselves that question. And it's a hard question for me to answer. I think I've gotten pretty good at answering, like, what do I want to eat? Sometimes, but sometimes not. But so, this whole thing, it's like I have to choose at some point, I guess, some place to settle or not. That's what's come alive for me on this too. Like, the only thing I know to do, and from my experience in my life, the options are you either buy a house or you rent either a house or an apartment somewhere, right? And so that's to me, like kind of a solitary life, not meaning like, oh, I'm alone, I'm by myself, I'm going to live by myself and be on my own. But it's more like we tend to get into our nuclear families or our small family groups or whatever, partners, and then we're kind of insulated from the rest of the world. Yes, we have our friends. I got to turn this around again because look at these ravens. Look at how close they are. They're like right here. So look at this one. It's a raven show. It's a raven show. I hope this isn't annoying you. I hope you love ravens as much as I do. So the whole thing of like, those are the options that I know of. And when I think about, I was talking to a friend in Denver today. She lives in an apartment in Denver, and she's feeling there are so many people in my life that are picking up and moving. It's amazing. It's like the universe is like uprooting a whole bunch of people and going, all right, we're moving, y'all, but we don't know where we're going yet. So I can't tell you how many people are in my life. Holy crap, you guys. That was an amazing raven acrobatic thing that just happened. But there's so many people in my life that are uprooted right now and that are like the same query as I have in my life. Like, where are we going? Where are we going to live? And I think it's part of what I see happening in the world, right? Since the pandemic, but even before that, for a while now, the pandemic was part of it, is like all the old structures, like the old earth, all the old structures are fallen. They're crumbling. our country as well as, I mean, globally, just governments and healthcare systems and economic systems, like things are crumbling. And here's the thing, they need to, because it's not sustainable. Our systems as they exist have not worked for most of the population of the planet. It works for a small percentage, and the planet is suffering, you know, climate change, all of that. It's real, right? And there's just so many pieces to it. So a big part of what's happening right now is those systems are falling. And you know what? It's hard, it's ugly, it's painful, there's a lot of suffering that goes along with it. And ultimately, it's going to be a good thing. And I don't minimize the suffering that people are going through, and I'm fortunate to be able to be doing what I'm doing. And we get to create structures that work better. And one of them, I think, is this living thing. You know, like, I used to do home care physical therapy, right? And I can't tell you how many homes I went to visit of elderly people, homebound elderly people that were alone, living these kind of solitary existences, you know, and their kids would live far away or live nearby but had families of their own and would come by and visit. But for the most part, these folks were sort of lonely, like a lot of loneliness. I know there's a lot of studies done on that, loneliness in the elderly and the health impacts of that. And, you know, how many of us are worried about that as we get older, like what's going to happen to us, right? So I think this model of living that we've had is just, it's not serving us, right? It's not feeding us. So what I feel coming alive is that, like, the idea of community more, living in communities. You know, so much of our systems as they are now are very centralized, right? Like big agriculture and all of these things where it's all very centralized. And I think what's happening is we're getting back into more localized living, you know, decentralized, and food generation where you live, and, you know, generating more of your own food and things like that. So I think that's what's happening. And I think that's, you know, there's a thing called intentional communities that I think I've talked about before. There's lots of them out there. So, and there's a lot of them forming. You know, so as far as going back to the surrender piece, like for me, this is about surrendering to what's happening. It's not what I expected it to be. And yet the more I can just stay present to myself and with myself, and anything that's coming up for me, work through it, and just stay connected to, you know, for me, there's the you know, the phrases of non-physical, the unseen world. Some people say God, you know, so different. There's something bigger than just me as a physical human, I believe. And the more I can stay connected to that energy, even though I don't always know what that means, but the more I can intend to stay connected and let that guide me, that's like that nudge I'm feeling on my back, then it's a trust. You know, somebody used the phrase recently that I met, a trust walk or a faith walk. So I just have to trust this, and trust that I'll know the next step, and I'll know the next step, and then I'll take the next step, and I get to trust the next step. So the next step that I'm feeling right now is like that nudge to get moving soon, and I'm feeling Colorado. So I think I'm going to be going out to Colorado for a bit. But, you know, it is just this process of surrender, surrender, surrender. So anything I'm feeling like I'm clinging to, or whether that be things or people or even emotional stuff that is familiar to me, it's like just surrender and trust. So that's what I'm up here doing. I'm walking and just appreciating the beauty of this planet and just the abundance in my life and of the planet, of, you know, of life. So yeah, so I think I'll be here. I'm not sure if I'll be leaving this week, or, I mean, I've got the blessing of flexibility here too. They're so gracious with me as far as staying here. So I don't know, I'll be heading out maybe this week, maybe next week, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I just wanted to pop in here and give you that update. Oh, Susan's here. Hey, Susan. Robin is here. Hey, Robin. Oh my goodness, I just love seeing you folks here. So I hope this has been helpful, inspiring, whatever for you. And yeah, it's a wild journey, gotta say. Moments of just feeling such profound blessing and joy and freedom and excitement, and then moments of just feeling like, what the heck, you know, missing people back home, it's funny that they say the word home, right, back east. yeah. So that's the update from Southern California. Big love to you all, and I'd love to hear how you're doing.